With match night on BBC Radio Suffolk, Ipswich Town versus Crystal Palace, our main feature. We're just moments away from kick-off, so let's join our commentary team. Former Town captain Mick Mills is back alongside Brenna Woolley.
Well, this is quite some game to kick off 6 in December with, isn't it? Two teams at the wrong end of the table with just one win each so far, going toe-to-toe, targeting what would be a sizable victory. Coincidentally, both of those wins came against Tottenham. So many fans of both sides, no doubt, have been describing it as a must-win, or at least a must-not-lose, and you can see why. Incredibly, it's 11 and a half years since these two clubs last met in the league, in their first top-flight meeting for almost 3 decades. For Town, it's the first of 2 games in their next 3 against teams who are currently in the bottom 4. So hopefully they can bag some points before a run which includes Arsenal, Chelsea, Brighton, Manchester City and Liverpool before the end of next month. So Mick Mills, just how do you view this game tonight?
Well, I think, as usual, I think it's going to be a very difficult game, because I think the quality of this division suggests that every time you walk out onto the pitch, whether it's home or away, it's got a certain amount of difficulty about it. But, you know, I go along with the supporters. You know, you feel that this one and the game against Bournemouth are, if nothing else, they are great opportunities for us to actually get wins on the board. It'd be very difficult to win either game, but it is an opportunity. And I think first and foremost, I think we have to look at ourselves. If we perform as well as we can, and we saw that against Manchester United, that was quality, we have a really good chance of beating Crystal Palace, because when you look at what they've done this season so far, they've been terrific in staying in the division a long time, but this particular season they found it difficult. They've got off to a bad start and they have got problems without question. So if we get our game right, pose Palace problems, there's an opportunity here, there's no question.
4 changes from the side that lost 1-0 at the City Ground at the weekend. Twanzebi's out for a lengthy spell because of a hamstring. Chaplin and Suffolk dropped to the bench. Burgess doesn't make the cut tonight. Into the team come the 2 Clarks, Harry and Jack. Jacob Greaves returns at centre-half. That's why Burgess misses out. Greaves has been missing for the last 6 games. We haven't seen him since the defeat at West Ham. And Wes Burns is the other of the quartet returning. So Murrich is in goal. Had a very good game against Forest at the weekend. His back 4, Harry Clark, O'Shea, Greaves and Davis. That's 2 of Morsey, the captain, alongside Cayuste. Then it's Burns, Hutchinson and Clark. That's Jack Clark, of course, with Liam Delap up top. On the bench, Walton, Chaplin, Broadhead, Smodix, Al-Hamadi, Johnson back after injury, so too Phillips, Taylor and Townsend. Oliver Glasner, the Austrian manager in charge of Crystal Palace, has made 1 change from their 1-1 draw with Newcastle at the weekend. They got a 94th minute equaliser in that fixture. Jefferson Lerma drops to the bench. Cheick Doucouré takes his place in the heart of their midfield. The goalkeeper is the England international Dean Henderson. They've got a back 3. Trevor Chalobah, of course, the former loan player here under Paul Hurst. Lacroix and Gay, the captain, plays on the left-hand side of their back 3. He's played every minute of the season so far. They're 4 across the park. Munoz, who got the equaliser at the weekend. Hughes, Doucouré and Mitchell. And then Sarr and Eze will float in and around and wide of Mateta, who is the central striker. Got some talent in this team, but clearly just haven't done it so far this season. Turner is their sub-keeper. Alongside him on the bench, Ward, Klein back for a second spell, Kapora, Devaney, Lerma, who I mentioned, Schlupp, who's been here a while, and Nketiah, who arrived from Arsenal in the summer, and the American defender Richards. The smoke is disappearing off into the Suffolk sky. Play about to get underway. Craig Pawson, very experienced referee. Referees in European competitions is the man in black. And it's Palace in all yellow, who are playing from right to left and knocking it forward early on. O'Shea wins his first header away from Sarr. Former Watford man, was a multi-million-pound signing from Marseille in the summer. Just had 1 season in French football. Ismaila Sarr. Harry Clark up towards Hutchinson on this near side. Town, of course, in their blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks, kicking in their preferred direction in this first period. Hutchinson to Clark, these 2 teams with identical records in terms of 1 win, 6 draws, 6 losses so far. Delap hangs out a leg and catches the blonde-haired Hughes on halfway. Free kick to the Eagles inside the first minute of this Premier League game. One of two Premier League games tonight. It's a full midweek schedule eventually. The other one is Ruud van Nistelrooy's debut as Leicester manager against West Ham. So two sides in the bottom half of the table meeting there at the King Power Stadium. As Greaves, good to see him back, although his deputy Burgess has been tremendous. But we all warmed to Jacob Greaves when we saw his first few Premier League appearances before that injury kept him out. But he's been fit a couple of weeks now, been back in training. Here he is, former Hull man. It's long to the left-hand side. Davis in a great position. The ball bounces off of his knee. And that all amounts to nothing. Goal kick to Henderson.
Yeah, we've just seen Leif Davis do what he does so often. He sets off on that run. And I don't think, again, I think there was... Crystal Palace players didn't believe that Jacob Greaves could hit a ball of that quality, and they just allowed that run to take place. They probably won't let any more go because that was ridiculous, but the ball was absolutely spot on. It's travelled 40-50 yards.
It's Gay. Gay's almost robbed by Hutchinson. Gets it back to Henderson. He scored an own goal at the weekend. Gay, I think it was a game when Newcastle didn't have a shot on target. The only goal came from an own goal. Eze to Sarr, trying to get Mateta away. O'Shea is in the way. He's been very good recently for Ipswich Town, very dependable. Kiyuste, quick footwork from him. Caught by Hughes. No, says the referee. Decore, Palace pinging it around in yellow inside the Ipswich Town half of the field. Out to the left-hand side, Mitchell. Good play from Palace. His crosses towards the far post where no one is positioned. The ball's out behind left back for an Ipswich throw.
Yeah, it was a very good break by Crystal Palace, and they had a lot of possibilities out there, you know, to do something really, really good, but they squandered the opportunity, and then I thought that we should have got a free kick, but we didn't. You know, the interesting thing for me here is that the two systems are totally different, and it's going to be whom has to make the adjustment to counteract the opposition. It will be the team that can't dominate the ball, so that will be the interesting thing.
Three full England internationals in this Palace side, a couple of them, Gay and Henderson, linking up. In the end, they did look for the third member of that trio, Eberici Eze, but the ball didn't find him. It's going to be an interesting battle, Eberici Eze against Harry Clark on this near side. Eze playing with gloves on. O'Shea going long, headed away by the Frenchman Lacroix. Played under Oliver Glasner for Wolfsburg in Germany. He was a summer arrival. We've not seen him before, Lacroix. Here is Gay, a regular for England during the Euros this summer in the absence of Harry Maguire. A very good tournament. Now Shalabar, once on loan here from Chelsea. Still a lone player from Chelsea, this time at Palace. As Munoz, the Colombian, goes hip to hip on the far side with Leif Davis. Davis sees the ball out behind. Goal kick to Town after 4 goalless minutes.
Yeah, we grouped around each other really nicely. There was a bit of a threat there, but we dealt with it really well. Very impressed with Dara O'Shea's ball that he tried to get Liam Delap in, and it almost made it another long raking pass. I think what that does, those two balls that we've played, will cause Palace players to just drop off a yard or two, you know, and that will give us a little bit of space.
Well, due respect to Alexa Wolfenden, Burgess. This is probably Ipswich Town's preferred, strongest pair at centre-half, given the money that they were recruited for from Burnley and Hull. In the summer, O'Shea and Greaves reunited here this evening. Good atmosphere, chilly night in Suffolk, still 0-0 if you're joining us in the 5th minute. There is Shalabar. 44 games for Ipswich Town in that season of Paul Hurst and Paul Lambert, the relegation season. Henderson, once of Manchester United, gets the ball out to Mitchell on this near side. Youngest Palace player to reach 100 Premier League appearances, Tyreek Mitchell. Have had a few good players come through their academy down the years. On the far side, Palace have it with Munoz. And now spreading play from one side of their back three to the other, now into the middle to Lacroix. Here is Gay, back into the centre. It's Maxence Lacroix once again. Jack Clark presses, but it bypasses him. Shalabar goes long, as is through the middle. Clark's watched that well. Good defending from Clark. He was alert. Back it goes to Muric. Muric out to Morsey. Morsey finds Harry Clark. Square along the edge of his area. Brought down almost knee height by Greaves, very calmly. Back to Greaves once again. He's happy to just hit towards halfway where Delap challenges in the air. Well won by Jack Clark on halfway. Town coming forward. He's got Delap in support. Out to the right-hand side he finds Burns. Everything to his left-hand side. In comes a low attempted ball. Comes off Mitchell. Town have won the first corner.
Yeah, super play by Jack Clark. He could have done even better if he had released it early. There was a little run from Liam Delap. He probably didn't quite see it, but had he have seen it, that was a great possibility. But he kept control of the ball. He found Wes Burns comfortably in the end, and I think Wes Burns maybe could have done a little bit better, but we've got a corner.
Corner kick to Ipswich Town, who've scored first in 3 of their last 5 games. Leif Davis is on this particular set piece in the 7th minute under the lights at Portman Road. Into the middle it comes, it's headed on and over the bar. Off a Palace player, the referee points back towards the corner flag. It's another corner to Town.
Yeah, a little bit of more adventurous than what we've been. Most of the season we've been sending 6 players in the box. On that occasion we had 7 in there. 3 of them started in the 6-yard box. 4 started away from the 6-yard box to make the run. So a lot of players in there.
Corner kick number 2 to Ipswich Town. Jack Clark on this one in front of the giant screen, and he bends it right-footed, headed away powerfully by Mateta. Back helping out his defence. Morsey collects. Davis plays it back into the box, brought down by Kayuste, back to goal, poked away by his marker. Decore tries to find Eze. In goes Harry Clark, good work from him. Here is Jack Clark outside the box, still has the ball, goes square to Hutchinson, maybe 30 yards from goal, left-footed dinks it in, turns into nothing in the end, and it's straight through to Dean Henderson, who is a very good goalkeeper. Henderson quickly up to Munoz on the left wing, the right wing back. Forward he gives it to the Frenchman Mateta. Scored a fair number of goals for his country at the Olympics in Paris at the end of the summer. Clark goes back to his goalkeeper Muric. Muric, poor clearance from the Kosovan. Eze wins a header to the edge of the Ipswich area. Clark does well to redeem himself for that error. Out to the right hand side, Burns being held up by Tariq Mitchell. Mitchell wins the ball, gets away from Burns. Burns stretches a leg in. Here is Will Hughes for Palace to the left-hand side. Eze just inside the Ipswich area, right-footed into the middle it comes. It was a player Sarr flinging himself towards the ball, didn't make contact. Palace trying to keep up the pressure. Strong play from Shalabar holding off his man. There is Gay. Palace work it to the left with Mitchell still 0-0 live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Gay with a switch of play goes to Munoz. Munoz with a header in field, brought down by Sarr. Back to Munoz on the right. In comes his cross towards Eze. Well headed away by Harry Clark. He's been involved in this game so far. He's done pretty well. Shalabar, cushioned header to the right to Munoz. Still pressure from Palace. Jack Clark with a challenge that the referee deems fair. Palace fans will be unhappy. Town can counter-attack. Good play from Delap. Delap trying to get Hutchinson through the middle. Dug away by Lacroix. Back as far as Delap. Town were unlucky there. Almost a nice link-up between the 2 England under-21 internationals.
Yeah, so it's good play in the end, but again there was an earlier ball that he could have played to Jack Clark. He had made a super run, but Liam Delap didn't see that one, but his run afterwards was good.
Harry Clark's done very well to spread play out to the far side, and Leif Davis off the outside of Clark's right boot. Continuing to see a lot of the ball, the Town number 2. There is Kayuste. He's getting a run in the team and making the most of his opportunity, albeit it's good to see Phillips back on the bench, and also Ben Johnson down below us as well. They'll have parts to play with this busier period to come for Ipswich Town. As I say, 5 more games before the turn of the year, at which stage we've seen everybody in the Premier League. Jack Clark, lovely spin in midfield. That's very bright work from him. He's still got the ball. He's got runners. They need to stay on side. Clark still has it. There's a step over. He runs into Gay, and the referee, who's in good position, says play on, and there aren't any complaints down there. Town could have maybe done better.
I don't think the referee's going to give a free kick tonight at all. He's missed about 3 or 4, which maybe he's got them right, I don't know, but they could have been free kicks. That one could quite easily have been a free kick.
Last time these two sides met was the 12-13 season. 5-0 Palace won at Selhurst Park. Then it was a 3-0 win for Ipswich here. A couple of goals for Frank Nouble and one for Aaron Cresswell, which I seem to remember was a bit special. They did meet in the League Cup 7 years ago when Mick McCarthy played a phenomenally young side that lost 2-1 at Selhurst Park. That was when Luke Wolfenden made his full debut for the club. A fair number of names that you've probably don't remember too well, like Pat Webber played in that game, Chris Smith played in that game, Shane McLaughlin, Adam McDonnell. I remember Basant Salina getting late consolation for Town, and they actually played really well that night, all things considered. A very young Town team, as Town have the ball on halfway, and then it goes back to O'Shea, and in turn Mauricio made one outstanding double save at Forest at the weekend. He's standing in a washed out grey kit off to our left tonight, out towards Greaves. It goes beyond him to Leif Davis. Davis does though find Greaves. 11 gone in this game, still to see a goal or a real chance for either side to break the deadlock, but plenty pace and endeavour. I've seen some quality as well. Town with 4 changes, one of them on the ball now. Harry Clark to another. Wes Burns, lovely ball from Clark. Burns on his right thigh. Oh, then he just lost his footing. And it will be cleared away by Lacroix towards Eze. Morsey does well, battling with the England attacker. Harry Clark back to O'Shea.
Yeah, it's a good game. Both teams, I think, have started well. Both look pretty confident about what they're doing, and what I like about both teams is when they get a break, they're very positive with regards numbers, trying to make forward runs, trying to get in the opposition penalty area. Good match.
It's 2 wins for Palace in the last 19 Premier League away games. Of course, Ipswich Town trying to break their home duck this season, ahead of that game against Bournemouth here on a Sunday. That's a 2 o'clock kickoff against Bournemouth. Another free Saturday for Ipswich Town supporters. Head along to your local non-league club if you're looking for your football fix. 3 o'clock on Saturday. Plenty would welcome you with open arms. Really good standard around the county as well. Here is O'Shea finding Harry Clark. Town playing that from the back. Jack Clark trying to put it in behind Gay, former Chelsea player Mark Gay. There is Dean Henderson. A couple of England caps for Henderson. Very difficult though to dislodge. Jordan Pickford was England's number 1. There is Eze to Decore. The one change pre-match for Palace was the Malian midfielder coming into their engine room alongside Hughes, who's played here in the past. Hughes with Derby as a kid. Gay to Eze on the halfway line. Eze playing a nothing ball to neither the onrushing Sarr or Munoz, but Leif Davis's header inadvertently finds Munoz. Palace building again in the middle with Eze. Came from QPR, Greenwich-born player Eze. A very profitable loan earlier on in his career at Wycombe Wanderers. They did very well under Matt Bloomfield in League One this season. That's good to see. 0-0 on BBC Radio Suffolk. Palace with the ball. Great block by Kayuste. Morsey finds Jack Clark. Another chance for him to open his legs and run with the ball. He's played out to the left-hand side, and Davis, heavy watered surface, held that ball up nicely for Davis. Back he goes to halfway, and Jack Clark, real opportunity for him tonight to show what he's all about. His 5th start for Ipswich Town. Burns, infield to Hutchinson, a real fixture in this side no matter what. Hutchinson, Eze, oh nice footwork from him, and then infield. Palace still though have it on the edge of their final third. Delap is high on Lacroix, who's made the most of that challenge. Delap, picture of innocence, pleading towards the assistant referee on the near side. Mr. Pawson, the referee, wants a word with the Town striker. Lacroix certainly felt that one.
Yeah, I think Liam Delap is known to make that type of challenge, and I think referees probably watch football on the television as well, and I think that was a pre-thought out sort of decision from a referee. He's been probably expecting him to make that sort of challenge, because he immediately gave the free kick and then went and had a word with Liam Delap, almost as if, yeah, I've got you marked because I've seen you do it on the box, and you are a little bit over-aggressive, but that's good players for a lone striker for me.
He's still down, Lacroix, and the physio hasn't come onto the field near side. Gay looked quite concerned about him. He's obviously told him that he doesn't need treatment. Delap was apologetic. The referee did the right thing, certainly, in terms of it wasn't a yellow card offence. He was entitled to go for the ball, but it has been a painful one for Lacroix. So already a little break in play. I said Town made 4 changes pre-kick. I'm not getting a lot of sympathy, as you can hear, Lacroix. They brought in the 2 Clarks, Greaves and Burns for the injured Twanzebe. Chaplin and Smoddock's on the bench. Burgess like Luke Wolfenden doesn't make the bench even tonight, with Johnson and Phillips back available. So a little break in play, but we're going to get the ball rolling again fairly soon. Mark Gay is standing over this free kick. TV cameras panning in on Kieran McKenna, just down below us, 10 yards or so to the right of Oliver Glasner, who came in last season, Glasner, and did phenomenally well. 7 wins out of his last 13 games, the Austrian. Quite different to this 1 win in 13 this time around, and there are murmurs if they were to lose this game, Palace, he could be under serious threat. The man who won the Europa Conference League, or the Europa League, sorry, with Eintracht Frankfurt. Eze is injured by, is appended, should I say, by Morsey. Free kick.
That was debatable. He had done the wrong thing. Eze, he actually tried a little twist and turn, and he didn't have the room to do it, and the referees decided it was a free kick, but he was guilty of trying to be too clever for me.
And this game's just hopefully temporarily lost a bit of its momentum. There is Sarr, tripped by Jack Clark. Yes, says the referee. Third free kick in quick succession. More free kicks than free-flowing football we've seen in the last couple of minutes. All of them go in the way of Palace. They play this one short in midfield. Hughes bounces it off Sarr and curls it to just south of the centre circle. And Gay gets the better of Hutchinson. Gay out to the right-hand side, chested infield by Munoz, cleared away by the alert Greaves to the halfway line where Shalabar wins a header. Brought down in midfield by Decore, tripped by Morsey, another free kick. Crowd getting very restless with all these set pieces awarded the way of the team in all yellow. There is Gay. Long forward, straight to Muric on the edge of his area. Good work from him.
Yeah, just looking at when a team plays with 3 at the back, you wonder whether we can force them into being 5 at the back. Well, it's not going to be that way, because Wes Burns is forcing Mitchell back to make almost 4 actually, but we've got Jack Clark who's coming infield, and it's Leif Davis who is taking their other wing back, so their right wing back is able to stay in a very advanced position.
Town, one of only 4 clubs in Europe's top 5 divisions without a home win. As Clark plays the ball off Eze, and it's out for a goal kick to Aaron Muric with 18.5 minutes on the clock here. Still no goals. If you're joining us a little bit late for this 7:30 kickoff. Aaron Muric allows Greaves to take this set piece. He quickly gives it back to Muric. The ball now in play. Town playing from left to right, of course in front of another packed house here at Portman Road. Delap gets on the ball in midfield, looks towards Burns on the right, telegraphed it straight to this near side, and Mitchell infield to Eze. His only shirt tugged by Morsey. Mitchell then gets it back to Gay. Gay finds Henderson in the penalty area off to our right. First time forward from his right boot. Greaves wins a good header. Jack Clark touches it infield. Lacroix, who seems to have shaken off that challenge of Delap. Morsey to Kayuste. He holds the ball up away from Hughes. It eventually goes back to Dara O'Shea. O'Shea to Greaves. There is Leif Davis through a little gap to the halfway line. Jack Clark's on the ball, blocked off by Decore. Clark wins it back, turns, runs into traffic. Free kick given away of Ipswich Town. Hence the sarcastic cheers from the home crowd.
Yeah, he started the game, the referee, not given any free kicks at all. You know, anything that was debatable, he just let the play go.
Ball down the right-hand side from Harry Clark. Burns' control's good, up against Gay next to the corner flag by the tunnel. Gay blocks off his attempted cross. It's out for a throw-in to Ipswich Town, deep inside Palace territory.
Yeah, that's Harry Clark's party piece there. That's when he hits that long ball over the top of the fullback's head. He strikes across the ball with the outside of his right foot, and when it lands it stops almost dead. So Wes Burns, if he does get a yard or two on the defender, the ball stays still for him.
Jens Kajuste with this throw in for Ipswich Town. They'll be coming into the Palace area off to our right at 0-0. Towards the 6-yard box, headed on by Greaves, nodded away by Hughes. Town get a chance to rebuild. Jack Clark back to Morsey. Morsey with a high up and under into the box. Henderson should get there and use the extra height above Greaves to clean it, to take it cleanly, which he does. Quick kick from Henderson to the right hand side. Munoz heads it on well to Sarr. Sarr brought down by O'Shea. Palace fans want yet another free kick. Could be a card as well. The first of the night.
Yeah, it was a little bit wrong there. He allowed the run to happen, is thinking that maybe his centre-half partner was actually up in line with him. Well, he wasn't, so the player was onside. So he had to actually make a challenge, and it was a poor challenge.
Yeah, it was. No complaints about that yellow card. O'Shea having words with Leif Davis. But the referee now is pacing out his 10 yards. Jack Clark's the one-man wall, about a yard outside the Ipswich Town penalty area. It's a free kick wide on the right for Crystal Palace. Maybe 4-5 yards in from the far touchline, attacking the goal off to our left-hand side. 29 yards or so from Murich's goal line. 0-0 under the lights this midweek at Portman Road. Eze knocks it in dangerously. Great ball. Really dangerous. Well defended by O'Shea to head it out behind for Palace's first corner.
Yeah, I think we're a bit risky when we do that. We got our line right on the 18-yard box. It's a high line, and to Murich there's 16 yards of grass for the guy on the free kick to hit, and he hit it just on the edge of the 6-yard box, and it needed good defending to deal with it.
Yes, terrific header from Dara O'Shea. Corner kick to Palace. Aberechi Eze on it off to our left-hand side. Into the centre it comes. It's travelled right the way through. Cleared away by Town, only so far. Decore stoops to head it to the right-hand side. Sarr. Decore knocks it towards goal. Rather tepid effort. Town can break. Clark's brought down. That's going to be 1-1 in terms of yellow cards. Decore is the latest name in the book.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That was a terrific collection from Jack Clark. His first touch was excellent. He got himself turned around. He was facing his own goal initially. That terrific touch got him facing the opposition goal immediately, and it left Decore struggling immediately, because he was about to accelerate away from the player and into acres of space.
A win tonight for Ipswich Town, which could take them 15th in the table. That's unless Leicester win. Leicester against West Ham. 0-0 here at Portman Road. Murich has the ball with 23.5 minutes on the clock. Obviously we'll bring you any news of any goals in tonight's other Premier League games. Some big ones at both ends of the table. Tomorrow Everton versus Wolves is fascinating at Goodison. Southampton are at home to Chelsea. And the big one, Arsenal Manchester United, a warm-up for next month's FA Cup third round tie between those two sides. Town drawing Bristol Rovers at home in the third round of the FA Cup. Sometime around about the 9th to the 13th of January is the extended third round weekend, which starts on a Thursday this year. One would imagine it's not going to be picked up for TV, that game. Here is Eze into the centre of the field, finding a pass towards Shalabar. Shalabar belts forward, then held up by Jack Clark, showing a willingness to get back and do a job going the other direction. You see Ben Johnson settling back down on the bench, one of the Town substitutes below us, as Palace, through Eze, twisting and turning on halfway, maintain possession of the ball. That's all the way back with Henderson. Second season after 12 years at Manchester United. Did have a few loan spells away. Harry Clark rising and glancing ahead or out for a throw to Mitchell, the Palace left-sided midfielder. Eze back to Gay. Still no clear-cut chances for either side in this Goalless Draw live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. In the centre of the pitch, it's Lacroix driving a ball out to the right-hand side. That's going to have too much on it. Goal kick to Arrow Murich.
No, the stats pretty miserable reading, really. They're so level, the teams having done really nothing as a threat. It's 50-50 possession-wise. One attempt at goal each. Nothing's hit the targets. You know, it's just so So nothing really, and also touches in the opposition box. It's 3 to 4. It's hardly anything.
Davis and Greaves passing the ball between them far side. Jack Clark has lost it. His touch lets him down. No immediate danger though, because Palace have worked it back to inside their own half in a central area just shy of the halfway line. Gay out to the right hand side. Shalabar, 80 appearances for Chelsea. Shalabar down the years, not fancied clearly by Enzo Maresca this season. Doing all right without him, has to be said. Chelsea right up there alongside Arsenal, just in behind Liverpool, 9 points behind Liverpool, but looking challenges for maybe second place Chelsea this year. Hughes on the right hand side, cuts in field, left footed, shoots to the middle. Ball's travelled through a lot of bodies, and it's come off a blue one. It's another Palace corner.
Yeah, I think Palace has slightly got control of the game now. You know, they'll be more happy with what's happening than what we are at the moment, you know, so we've got to make sure we defend this right.
Eze on Palace's second corner kick in the 27th minute. What can he conjure up? Right-footed. Header over the top from Lacroix. The number 5 was up there.
Yeah, they just put the usual 6 in the box. A few years ago, teams used to only put 5 in, and then they started to get a bit more adventurous, and then everybody copied everybody else and decided, no, it's not 5, 6 is the number. And on that occasion, Palace just put the 6 in, and you've got one take in the corner, and then you get that fringe of 3 players for the ball that's knocked out.
Headed down by Gay, just kept in underneath us by Eze. Holds off Burns, a strong player, comfortable in possession. Eze. Hutchinson's gone with him, trying to prevent him going back to his goalkeeper, which he's managed to do. O'Shea wins a header, goes to ground. Mateta tries to get the better of O'Shea. Well done by the Irishman, but as he prods it forward, it's only to Eze. Around the corner, Gay finds Hughes. Hughes to Eze, who stretches. Oh, then gets away from Morsey. Clever play from Eze, who's caught from behind by Morsey. The referee wants a word with the Ipswich Town captain. It was just as Eze went to kick the ball forward, he got tangled up with Morsey as he stretched out to try to make a challenge. I think it's only a talking to and a free kick. Card.
It is a foul, but it's a debatable one. What Sam has tried to do is, seeing that Eze is going to propel the ball forward, and he puts his foot between the ball and the player's foot, and as the foot comes through to strike the ball, it strikes Sam Morsey's foot, and it always goes against the challenging player.
It's Palace's 12th season in the Premier League, promoted in 2013. It's their longest ever run in the top flight of English football. Finished 10th last season, which equals their best ever top flight finish down the years. And that run-in, where they got all those points under Glasgow, they won at Anfield, beat Man United 4-0, Villa 5-0. Here come Crystal Palace. It's 0-0 at Portman Road. Eze, edge of the area, blocked off by Morsey. Ball runs back to Eze. Tries a shot from just outside the box, then heads it into the area. Mateta nods it down. Doucouré with a chance. His driven effort was looked as if it could have been on target. It's come off the back of Jacob Greaves and looped out of play. Palace have also, and amongst all of that, got a man down inside the Ipswich Town area.
Yeah, it's Palace who are definitely forcing the issue at the moment, and I think Harry Clark did well there not to come and confront Eze. He waited for the support to gather around him, and then we sort of stifled the potential of a one-to-one there, and then in the end they get their shot away, but it was going nowhere. It's just taken a ricochet.
Concern over a potential injury in there. I think there's signs of blood on the head of Dara O'Shea. He'll want to stay on and try and defend this set piece, and he's staying on the field so it can't be taken. On will come Matt Byard to deal with him. It's quite a nasty one, just on his right side of his forehead. Eze waiting, getting ready to take this corner kick for Crystal Palace. Been a bit of a lull in this game, really, hasn't there? And as you say, Palace kind of edging it a little bit at the moment.
Yeah, no question. I think that we carried a threat as well as Palace carrying a threat on the break. But now, just in general terms, I think Palace are slightly on top of the game. But there's no chances being created at either end, but we must look at ourselves, not Palace. This is a night where we've got to perform well, and at the moment we're not. If you look at some of our players, we're not seeing enough. We're not seeing enough of Murray Hutchinson, that's for sure. And also one player that always is in the game, Leif Davis. We saw one surging run from him, and he's actually since then has been taken out of the game. So, there's certain people that really haven't got their game going.
It's quite some cut on Dara O'Shea's forehead. The referee's clearly keen for him to walk off the field, but he wants to stay on the field because obviously he wants to be there to defend this set piece. He's going to need stitches, one would have thought, by the looks of that at half-time. Some sort of bandage now. That's what the referee's clearly telling him, and the club doctors out there, as well as Matt Byard, the physio, to go off the field because he wants to crack on with things. And obviously, Town would dearly want to have him on to help defend this set piece. So Town are a key man down defending this corner kick from Crystal Palace. Dara O'Shea off the field, getting his forehead bandaged up. Play will continue with this set piece. Eze knocks it into the Ipswich Town area. Flashing header goes across the face of goal, nodded away not very far by Burns, brought down by Decore. In comes his cross. There's a header over the bar from Shalabar.
Well, they certainly should have done better. We were really heavily outnumbered from the centre of the goal to the back post. You're talking about maybe 4-2, and Shalabar was the one who got his head on it, and he's sort of put the ball a yard and a half over the bar. It's a poor effort. We've really got to get our game going, if we want to win the game. I think there's certain players have been okay. I think we've seen enough in the first half so far from Liam Delap, enough from Jack Clark. We just need other forward players to do more. We need Wes Burns to do a fraction more, definitely more from Murray Hutchinson, and Sam Morsey is not his usual dominant self. So, there's a lot of improvement can be made.
33 minutes gone. McMills alongside me for this game, as he will be on Sunday afternoon when Bournemouth are here. I'm looking forward to seeing them. Their manager Areola's done a very good job in all. They had a great win over Wolves at the weekend. That hat-trick of penalties from Justin Clive at a Premier League first. Lacroix into midfield and Hughes. Palace the better side at the moment. Lacroix up towards Sarr. A little layoff from Sarr to the right-hand side. Still 0-0 though. Munoz. O'Shea incidentally back on the field alongside Greaves at the back. Here is Mark Gay. Gives it towards Eze. Seen a fair bit of the ball for Palace, just not in the right areas as far as Oliver Glasner's concerned. Gay held up by Hutchinson in that battle of two former Chelsea players. There is Lacroix out to the right hand side. Munoz, that was his first ever Premier League goal against Newcastle at the weekend. Munoz forward for Mateta to go after. O'Shea gets there comfortably enough and gives it back to Aro Muric. Muric to this right hand side. Gay up over the top of Hutchinson. Eze wins the header. Gay's continued his run forward. Eze edge of the box, look to Mateta, then tries to get it back to Eze. Kayuste comes away with the ball. He's been very quiet, not good enough from the Swede. This forward pass is into open grass, and it's dealt with by Lacroix, who goes back to
I think the ball that Kajus selected was the right one. It's just Liam Delap decided that he wanted the ball up to his feet and he wasn't going to run beyond the defenders, and I think that it was Liam that got the selection wrong.
Here is Mitchell, tidy player, the number 3. Gay dinks it down the line to Eze inside his own half, challenged by Clark. He flies off the field, appealing for a free kick. Not even going to get a throw in Palace. It's going to be Wes Burns or Harry Clark. Clark took a knock there as well, limping ever so slightly. Clark with the ball above his head underneath us. Goalless live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Town at home to Crystal Palace tonight. Their 14th game of the season. 7 home, 7 away now. Greaves Plays it back to Muric. Like Dean Henderson at the other end, has had very little to do in this first half. O'Shea to Greaves. Greaves goes back to O'Shea. And there is Morsey to Harry Clark. Clark, a little Cruyff turn. Might have got himself into trouble. He has done. Terrible from Clark. Mateta, edge of the area, still Mateta. Blocked brilliantly by O'Shea. That was a terrible moment from Harry Clark's perspective. Goodness gracious me. Well done, Dara O'Shea, to help out his mate. Palace on top. Town a little bit ragged. Eze into the box to Mitchell. Mitchell low into the centre. There's a chance for Palace. Cleared away by Greaves. It was off target from Munoz. It wouldn't have been a goal. Town a little bit under the cosh all of a sudden.
Yeah, there's some big mistakes being made there. You know, Harry Clark, you know, he took a chance and it was the wrong thing to do. He was in trouble. Then he tried to become too careful and he tried to take an extra careful touch and it just got him in all sorts of trouble.
Palace on top, still 0-0. Here is Mitchell, edge of the Ipswich Town box, now into the area, left of centre. Fizzes one across, blocked off and out behind. It's another corner kick to Palace.
Yeah, Harry Clark's just got to stay with it. He's got to have a cool head now. You know, he's just made a couple of little errors, and that's when I sort of dealt Harry. You know, because he doesn't go cold immediately. That's what you've got to do. You've got to forget about it, calm down, and get the right thing done.
Palace play the corner kick short. Well done. Jack Clark read it well, intercepted, brought it away. Found Hutchinson. Hutchinson running down this right-hand side, loses the ball, goes off the pitch. Out for a throw to Crystal Palace. Definitely on top at the moment. The team from Selhurst Park. Here is Decore playing it back towards Shalabar, who's now 25. Trevor Shalabar, so it's not very young really. Forward the ball comes from the back for Palace, headed by Burns, but only to Eze, who lifts it casually over the top of Hutchinson. Decore comes in field. Morsey has a little nibble. Decore keeps his feet and also the ball. Finds Shalabar on the far touchline. Munoz with his socks low down and his tiny shin pads. Sarr in field to Mateta, who can turn and thread it forward to Eze. Eze might be in on goal. Chance for Palace. Well saved by Muric. Straight at him, in all honesty, from Eze, but that was a sighted goal for the Eagles.
The ball infield to Mateta was an excellent ball. It's one that a lot of players wouldn't have seen. We were in a little bit of trouble there. Very good play by Wes Burns. He really, that's tremendously honest play.
Delap against Lacroix. Delap ends up on the deck after a collision as the ball was coming towards them. The referee wanted a little word for those two players again. They've had their moments since this one kicked off at 7:30. It's a free kick to Palace on this occasion. Delap with a grin on his face. Free kick to Maxence Lacroix. Forward it comes from him, trying to get Mitchell in behind. Well positioned. Muric quickly out to the edge of his area. Town crowd trying to lift players. I know they're not in the A game and they need a bit of help. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's really difficult because this is the time you need the crowd to be, you know, at its best, you know, but it never really happens because they want to see something first before they respond. And that's the usual way, you know, that it's got to be the performance and then the support in that order.
Here is Hutchinson. The ball goes to Kayuste. Delap's on his bike. Kayuste gets to the halfway line, plays the ball in field to Jack Clark. To his left is Davis, looking towards Clark. Clark finds Davis, far side in front of the Palace fans. Goalless on BBC Radio Suffolk as Town have to go back to halfway Greaves, or at least they're keeping a hold of the ball. Greaves slots the ball through a gap to Kayuste. Lovely turn from Kayuste, brought down by Decore, who's on the yellow, just needs to watch. It wasn't worthy of a second yellow, but just keeps him in the referee's mind. Kayuste was taking him to the cleaners there. He was too good, the Swede. Free kick right on the centre spot, which Dara O'Shea with that bandage around his head takes. He finds Jacob Greaves. Greaves back to Muric out of his area. First time ball from him out to the left-hand side. It's a good one. Lovely ball from Muric, brought down by Davis for Jack Clark, who rides the challenge of Hughes. Clark in field to Hutchinson. Hutchinson turns into traffic. He loses the ball. Hughes has it to Mateta. Sarr's making a run. Back it goes to Decore. light challenge from Hutchinson. No chance of winning the ball back. Palace had a runner there. Sarr was in a good position, but that moment is gone. Town have regrouped and got all 10 blue shirts behind the ball in their rightful position as Chalobah measures a pass back to Henderson. His first loan for Henderson actually many moons ago as part of that Paul Hirsch-Shrewsbury side that nearly got into the Championship. Played with the likes of Enciala and Nolan very early on in his career. There's a couple of spells at Sheffield United, was at Nottingham Forest as well. Dean Henderson, good goalkeeper. There is Harry Clark to Morsey. Hughes closes him down. Morsey gets the ball back to Harry Clark. Morsey once again into the centre of the field. Tumbles under pressure from Hughes. Free kick given away of Ipswich Town for a foul on Morsey.
Yeah, I thought he could have played the advantage there. I mean, He was watching all the time, the referee, to see if we were going to keep control of the ball, and we did.
4 minutes to go until half-time. Morsey brought down by Mateta. All of a sudden they're picking on Sam Morsey. There is a free kick taken. O'Shea to Harry Clark. See the player's breath. It's that kind of chilly night. Back it goes to O'Shea. O'Shea with a terrible pass. Nowhere near Wes Burns. Out near side for a throw to Palace. Not a classic, this one, it has to be said. Every kick live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. These two sides at the wrong end of the table. It's 19th versus 17th. Long from O'Shea. Delap's going to go after this. He's on his own, but he won't mind. He's wide on the right-hand side. Across comes Lacroix. He gets an important toe in. Falls out for a throw into Town by the corner flag in an attacking area. Yeah,
it's just a ball that's hit upfield. It's one that you're just asking your player to chase. It's not a perfect ball. Liam Delap does that and nearly produced something, you know. But at least all of a sudden we've got this game territorially up the Crystal Palace end.
Final 3 minutes of the first half. It's 0-0. Town have a throw-in outside the Palace area. It's Jens Kiyuste who throws it in terribly straight into the chest of the first man. Eze, well won back though by Greaves. Now Morsey has the ball. He plants it into the Crystal Palace box. Henderson's come a long way. Really confident and competent goalkeeping. He got a hold of that ball very, very well because he took a bit of a gamble there.
Yeah, it just lacked a little bit of pace. I think the ball was intended for Leif Davis on the very back end of the whole situation, but it was never going to get there. So Henderson decided, right, that's not going where it was intended to go. I can intercept this.
Palace playing it around at the back to a point, and then Gay cleared it up towards Mateta. He's held it up well as it comes in field. Greaves goes to ground effectively. Greaves then on the deck to Burns. Burns goes back to his goalkeeper. 2 minutes plus added on. There'll probably be at least 3 minutes really, largely because of the head injury to O'Shea. Palace also had a player down, Lacroix, wasn't it, earlier on in the half. Jack Clark can't quite keep the ball in, far side, flags up. It's a throw to Palace, maybe 5-6 minutes from now for a first half goal in this game. Gay towards Lacroix. Hasn't been great. Lacroix up to Sarr. His first touch less than great. Kiyuste comes away with the ball really well. He's got Burns going through the middle. He finds him. Burns' control's decent. Burns shoots, but it's come off his man. At least Town have won a corner kick. First one for a little while.
Yeah, terrific run from Wes Burns. He made it happen. The ball from Kudus was decent, and it almost got us a shot on target. We've won a corner from it. We've had a nice couple of minutes now. You know, we've been under the cosh a little bit, you know, where Palace have dominated maybe the last 15-20 minutes, but this is maybe our little opportunity.
It looked like it was going to be on target had it not taken that deflection. Well, Palace have been the better side for a little while, but just the last couple of minutes Ipswich Town have shown a bit more. They've got themselves back into this game. They've now got a corner kick. Davis to take it towards the near post, cleared off the line. Henderson was in the way on his near post. He did very well. That could so easily have crept in. Very
much so. It was a terrific ball into the near post. Great run, great flick header, and it could easily have squirmed into the back of the net.
Dara O'Shea, he seemed to be the player reacting with the greatest disappointment after that little passage of play. Well done, Henderson, the goalkeeper. Just watching the ball come. It's Harry Clark with a header. Did well. Yeah, possibly felt he'd scored when he made contact because it was on target towards that near post area. Good coverage of that part of the goal from the Keeper Henderson. 3 minutes of added on time, which we are now going into. O'Shea still in an attacking area from the set piece, wins a header. Delap's done very well. Typical Delap play, and then he's blocked off by Shalabar. Ball rolls loose to Davis. Kayuste now back to the centre circle. O'Shea 0-0 on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Final 2.5 minutes of the first half. Greaves wriggles away from Mateta. Kayuste to the left and Davis. Davis comes in field. Little ball into the box looking for Delap, cleared away by Lacroix. Greaves heads it out to the far side, the left. One in the air by Munoz. Chested down by Sarr, then headed in field by him. Town outnumbering the yellow shirts far side. They get it out to Morsey. Town trying to press for that first goal of the game. Clark trying to put it in behind for Burns. The idea was right. Unlucky there. In goes Gay, and the ball goes back to Henderson. Never a foul, despite 1 or 2 appealing. Yeah,
good play between Clark and Wes Burns. They seem to sort of get a bit of eye contact, indicate where you want it, and off goes Wes Burns. The ball was terrific, but the defending was good as well.
There is Dean Henderson inside the Crystal Palace penalty area. Good save from him a few moments ago. They've made 1 save each then in this first half, Muric and Henderson, as the ball is back with Muric. His was from Eze not that long ago. Poor clearance this time from the Ipswich Town number 1. It eventually finds its way to the halfway line. Pushed back up in the air by Gay. Mateta bundles O'Shea to the deck. Free kick, says the referee. Goodness me, he's given a fair few of those in this first half.
Yeah, I think it was a foul there against O'Shea. You know, I was a little bit surprised that we didn't challenge for the ball when it was up on the centre half there. I thought that was a 50-50 opportunity.
Final minute of the added on 3 at the end of this first half has just begun. Muric with a free kick right in the centre of Ipswich Town's half of the field. Kieran McKenna watching on below us, hands in pockets as Muric goes long. Up goes Delap, headed into the Palace area, nodded down by Lacroix. Maybe a chance for Hutchinson. Hutchinson back to Kayuste. There is Morsey. Back to Greaves. Greaves out to the left-hand side. And Jack Clark. Back the ball goes to his captain. Morsey rolls it in field to Delap, who's dropped off the front line. He turns, he's done well, Delap, but then he's blocked off by Mateta. Has a nibble at Mateta. Mateta gives it to Sarr. Back into the middle the ball goes. O'Shea with a header. Maybe a final chance for Ipswich Town to get a first half goal. Kayuste. Burns is making a run through the centre. Kayuste out to the right. He's found Harry Clark with a bit of space in front of him. He shaped to play the early ball into the box. He's still got it. He's gone square. Morsey to Kayuste, out to the chest of Clark on the right hand side, infield to Hutchinson. Good play this from Ipswich Town. Now Burns is involved, tight to this right touchline, trying to take on his man Mitchell. Goes to the corner flag, tries to squeeze his cross and he can't. Mitchell's done well, then Eze steps in there. And that's it for the first half, which hasn't been great. It's 0-0 between Ipswich Town and Crystal Palace.
No, really, in the end it was disappointing, you know, and that I thought both teams started confidently, both teams started well. They, were using the ball nicely, very few mistakes out there, and it was debatable as to who was going to take charge of the game, and in the end it started to go really quiet, which tends to favour the away team, because that's what they want. They know that if the home team can produce something, the atmosphere goes up a number of notches, but that didn't happen. Palace got hold of it. They slowly but surely started to control it. There was nothing happening in the penalty areas for a long time. But the domination that Palace sort of showed just started to push us back towards our penalty area, and then there was a lot of rebounds going for corner kicks, and that's when we looked as if we might be in a little bit of trouble, but it didn't happen. I just think from our point of view, I think Palace have done all right. They're fine, they've done their homework well. Their system seems to be sort of causing us more problems than what our system is causing them, and I think in particular Daniel Muniz, the right wing back for Palace, has done a terrific job on keeping Leif Davis quiet. I've never seen Leif Davis so quiet, so there's bits of homework being done against us, but I just felt that this was a night for us to grab the opportunity to play to our maximum, and force the issue, and then we would have a chance of getting our first home win of the season. But we haven't done that. I just have a feeling that maybe we're being overcautious. We're possibly a little bit frightened of the situation. Rather than this game lifting us, I think it's sort of worried us. I think we've got to come back out in the second half, and we've got to get players that we normally see regularly in a game into the game. You know, I think Jack Clark has seen a lot of the ball, so he's doing a lot of things right. And Liam Delap has had enough of the ball for me. Cajuste has started to come into it a little bit. Harry Clark has had a lot of the ball, but I know the reason really, and that's because he hasn't got anybody to mark. You know, Wes Burns is forcing Mitchell back, and it's allowing Harry Clark a lot of freedom. So he's got to force the issue more and more, and he's got to be very selective with what he does with the ball when he gets it. You know, but I just want more, you know, from Leif Davis, more from Sam Morsey, a lot more from Amari Hutchinson. And then I think we can get closer to the performance that we desperately need. At the moment, we're nowhere near on top of our game.
No, sadly not. Full second half commentary to come. Hopefully Ipswich Town will improve after the break, because after 45 minutes here at Portman Road, it's 0-0 with Crystal Palace.
Leicester West Ham is only 7 minutes old, but the Foxes have already broken the deadlock. Jamie Vardy in the second minute of that one. Ruud van Nistelrooy's first game in charge. So Leicester 1, West Ham 0. A couple of games happening locally tonight, but a couple of goals. And Lowestoft Town's match already will be with Gary Button at the Foster Solicitors Community Stadium in just a moment.
Santa here on BBC Radio Suffolk.
How do you fancy an early Christmas present from Santa?
From Monday the 9th of December and right up until Christmas Eve, you could win tickets to see Ipswich Town play Chelsea.
A food hamper full of local goodies.
Family tickets to one of Suffolk's festive pantomimes.
A spa experience.
And many, many more great gifts.
Play Sleeps Till Santa with me, Sarah Lilly, every weekday morning from 10.
And join me, Wayne Bavin, for breakfast every morning from 6.
And remember,
if you don't go,
Ho, ho, ho!
it could be
a no, no, no.
How many sleeps till Santa? BBC Radio Suffolk.
Just gone 20 past 8. Graham Mack here with Match Night on BBC Radio Suffolk. Ipswich Town 0, Crystal Palace 0 in our main feature. Full second half commentary on the way shortly. Leicester 1, West Ham 0. That game not long underway. Jamie Vardy with the opening goal here from the new Leicester boss, Ruud van Nistelrooy, in just a moment. Let's catch up with Gary Button at Lowestoft Town, where there have been a couple of goals in their match with Biggleswade this evening in the Southern Premier League. Gary.
Yes, Graham, there's been 3 here. 10 minutes to half-time. Lowestoft Town 2, Biggleswade Town 1. But it's been another poor start from the Trawler Boys earlier this evening. Annie Reynolds' side were a goal down inside the opening 4 minutes of this fixture. The visitors' first attack, Flanagan's low centre from the right, and there was recent signing striker Daniel Isaacor to side foot at a near post position past Sam Blair and into the far corner. And Isaacor had another chance on 7 minutes. Flanagan's delicate chip this time into the area, Isaacor shooting straight at Blair. However, Lowestoft equalised on 11 minutes. Harvey Sayers, left-footed centre, picked out an unmarked Joe Duffy, a flying header from around 12 yards past Ethan Binney in the Biggleswade goal, his third goal in 2 games. The Trawler Boys by now are getting to grips with the visitors' high press, and then were awarded a penalty on 25 minutes. Johnson's powerful run into the area, keeper Binney's late challenge, and Harvey Sayers scored from the spot. Johnson had to leave the field injured and has since been replaced by Louis McIntosh. It seemed like a twisted right knee for Sam Johnson, but say it's Lowestoft 2, Biggleswade Town 1.
Thank you, Gary. In the Isthmian North tonight, Felixstowe Walton United 1-up away at Basildon United. Charlie Warren in the opening minute of that game. The match has been paused though on 32 minutes due to a medical emergency in the stand. Lakenheath also in action in the Thurland and Premier Division tonight at home to Soham. Kirkley and Pakefield on the road at Dereham in the League Challenge Cup. We'll have all your results later in the programme. Let's go back to the Premier League. Mentioned Ruud van Nistelrooy's first game in charge of Leicester City is not long underway, and they're 1-0 up at home to West Ham. That one started at 8:15. The Dutchman's inherited a Leicester team in poor form, 5 defeats in the last 6 games in all competitions, and with just 2 Premier League wins to their name all season. Van Nistelrooy said he spoke with Enzo Maresca before he took on the job, given what his former teammate at Malaga achieved with Leicester in winning promotion earlier this year. year.
When the first approach was there, you're going to think about the club and the players and the setup and the training ground and all of these questions you have, and you're curious about people who work there. And of course, Enzo, being a great friend and a former teammate, he was the first one to call, and what better information could I get? And I have to say he was absolutely right, being according to the first impressions that I get. To be managing this club and this group of players, representing Leicester City in the Premier League, I'm very excited, I'm proud to be able to get the opportunity. 2 times I flew out to London to speak with the owner and the director. Yeah, we're both very excited to, in the end, start working together. Sunday was the first time that I was here. Was it yesterday? It feels longer now. Feels longer. But yesterday was the first time I met the players and staff and members. Everybody here was working, and I had a meeting with the players, and it was the first thing to address the situation that we're in and the challenge that we're facing and what's necessary to get out of that situation where we're in. Obviously, with the run of results over the last weeks and the Brentford game, it's up to reacting and clarity about how we're going to do things. And of course, in 2 days, it's difficult to make a lot of changes, but as a staff, we started to make the changes that we think are necessary in the style of play and in the training sessions and in the structure of the team. But little by little, it's time to build a foundation of a highly motivated, fit team that can compete in this difficult league.
So Ruud van Nistelrooy speaking at his first pre-match press conference since taking on the Leicester job. Like we say, they've made a good start to their match against West Ham, which got underway at 8:15. Leicester 1, West Ham 0, Ipswich Town 0, Crystal Palace 0 in our main feature. Back with Brennan Woolley and Mick Mills for full second half commentary shortly. Just looking at some results from elsewhere before we talk about tomorrow in the Premier League. Colchester, not yet half-time in their League 2 match with Swindon. They lead by 4-0. There's some internationals tonight as well. Wales's women looking to reach a major tournament for the first time. They're currently goalless in Dublin against the Republic of Ireland. Grace Clinton has scored for England in their friendly with Switzerland. Excuse me. Lionesses leading that one by 1-0. Looking ahead to some of tomorrow's action in the Premier League now, Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola has been asked whether his defending champions are still in this season's title race. City now 5th in the table, 11 points behind leaders Liverpool, ahead of tomorrow's game at home to Nottingham Forest. Guardiola says City's past achievements don't count for anything, and the first target has to be picking up victories against the teams around them in the table, like Forest.
Try to win a team that's close to us, to take advantage of him, to be close in the top 4, and that is the target after. I think in the Premier League, especially when one team had been, I would say we are not far away for the team for the second position, but always is the way you play, the consistent that you are in the boxes, and many things that give you the positive thoughts, what's going to happen in the future.
Liverpool manager Arne Slot says Alisson will be back in goal before the end of December if his recovery remains on course. The Brazilian's been out since early October due to a muscle complaint. Slot was quick to add that his replacement, Quivine Kelleher, was doing too good a job to rush Alisson back.
We're just waiting for the moment that Alisson is completely fit, because Quiv is doing too well to put Alisson in goal if he's only on 50%, and that would not be good for Alisson and not be good for the team. So he's getting there. It might take a few more extra days, but he's getting closer and closer.
Liverpool are at Newcastle tomorrow. Chelsea manager Enzo Maresca says the club will dominate the Premier League in the next 5 to 10 years. Chelsea are 3rd in the table ahead of tomorrow's match at Southampton. Despite being in such a good position, Maresca says his young team is not in this season's title race, but their time will come.
I still think what I said to the owners and to the sport director the first time I met them. Because of the age and because how good is the squad, for me Chelsea in the next 5-10 years will be one of the team or the team that is going to dominate English football. This is what I said to the club the first time I met them. No matter who will be the manager for the next 5-10 years, because of the age and because of the squad, you can dominate English football.
Also tomorrow, Arsenal at home to Manchester United. It'll be the same again next month in the FA Cup third round. Aston Villa home to Brentford, and Everton v Wolves is a big one for both those teams at Goodison Park. Wolves lost at the weekend but won their 2 prior to that, while Everton have just 3 points, all draws from their last 5 matches. There's their manager Sean Dyche.
I've been frustrated this season because I think we've done better than what the points show. Key moments we haven't taken care of, and that's been quite evident. I don't think there's major frustration in the group other than wanting to, the frustration of not winning and wanting to play well and wanting to deliver better than we are doing, of course. But no, I think it's an ongoing challenge here, and I think the group are pretty honest with it. I think I couldn't be more proud of this group. People keep asking, why, what about this? Well, I said, these have come through fire after fire, a lot of this group. There's only a few players joined us this summer. The rest have just been through constantly. There's another knock, and we're still going, and we're still fighting. I certainly am, and I believe the team are. So fair play, that's part of the journey of Everton Football Club. Without these having a right go, we'd be in massive trouble. But we're still having a right go. We're still working for every inch of what we get. We don't always get it right. But I don't always get it right. I'm absolutely sure of that. But we've got it right enough, and now we've got to get it right enough again.
Sean Dyche speaking ahead of Everton v Wolves tomorrow, a big one towards the bottom of the Premier League table. Same can be said of our full match commentary this evening in Match Night. We're back with Brenner and Mick for the second half in just a moment. Signs that Ipswich Town come into life towards the end of that first half.
Harry Clark. Clark, a little Cruyff turn. Might have got himself into trouble. He has done. Terrible from Clark. Mateta, edge of the area, still Mateta. Blocked brilliantly by O'Shea. On the far touchline, Munoz with his socks low down and his tiny shin pads. Sarr infield to Mateta, who can turn, then thread it forward to Eze. Eze might be in on goal. Chance for Palace. Well saved by Muric. Straight at him, in all honesty, from Eze. But that was a sighted goal for the Eagles. Kayuste comes away with the ball really well. He's got Burns going through the middle. He finds him. Burns' control's decent. Burns shoots, but it's come off his man. At least Town have won a corner kick. First one for a little while. We've now got a corner kick. Davis to take it towards the near post. Cleared off the line. Henderson was in the way on his near post. He did very well. That could so easily have crept in.
We're on air till at 10:30 with Match Night on BBC Radio Suffolk. Keen to hear from you at full time. Usual numbers to get in touch. You can text us 81333, WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Start your message with SFK, and it'll be me and Mick Mills taking your calls on 0800 141 2121. Mick Mills alongside Brenner Woolley at Portman Road this evening. We can rejoin Brenner now.
Don't think there's any changes for Town. The players yet to come out. Palace are out, ready in their yellow. I'm just looking down the pictures of the tunnel as the Ipswich Town players are gathering in there. I don't think Kieran McKenna's made any changes. It's going to be interesting to see when he does time his alterations, how ambitious he's going to be. Because, of course, at the moment, he has got a point and a clean sheet, but this game is winnable. But then, of course, Oliver Glasner will have been saying the same to his players as well. An opportunity for both of these sides. You feel Town have just got to up the ante a little bit. I think that Jefferson Lerma is a change for the visitors. I'm guessing for Czech Doucouré maybe in midfield. There's an alteration made before the game. But anyway, Town in blue, white, blue are going to be playing from right to left in this second half. Muric in goal, and it's Harry Clark, O'Shea on a yellow, Greaves and Davis, Morsey the captain with Kayuste, Burns, Hutchinson, Jack Clark, Delap up top. On the bench, Walton, Chaplin, Broadhead, Smodix Al-Hamidi, Johnson, Taylor, Townsend and Phillips. Palace with Henderson in goal. The back three of Shalabar, Lacroix and Gay the captain. And then a midfield of Munoz, Hughes, now confirmation Doucouré's gone off, Lerma is on, and Mitchell. Then it's Sarr and Eze supporting Mateta in attack. On the bench, Matt Turner's their sub-keeper, Ward, Klein, Kapora, Devaney, Schlupp, Richards and Nketiah. As Mari Hutchinson bounces up and down on his tiptoes in the centre of Portman Road and gets the yellow ball rolling at the start of this second half after a goalless first period. Every kick of it to come on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Wonder what kind of drama we'll have in the next 45, 47, 48 minutes or so that remain in this game. Jack Clark on the left-hand side, the number 47, skipping in field with the ball. Tucks it back, though, in the end to Morsey. Town have it with Harry Clark, his header in the first half, the closest to an Ipswich Town goal. 3 efforts on target, just 3 efforts on goal from Town, just the 1 on target. Palace had 9, likewise, though, just the 1. That save that Muric made from Eze. Muric is outside of his area with the ball right now. Palace with a couple of wins in the last 4 here, 6 wins in the last 10. It's been a fairly happy hunting ground down the years. Delap heads the ball to Hutchinson. He flicks it to Davis in the centre of the Palace half. It's Morsey. Morsey tries to get out to the right hand side, easily read and intercepted by Eze. Once again the number 10 of Palace loops a pass forward. It always runs away from Mateta. Greaves gives it to Morsey. Kayuste almost caught on the ball by Hughes, has to go back to Greaves. Greaves back after missing the last 6 if you weren't with us earlier on. No Burgess or Wolfenden in the 20 tonight, both down below us, along with the likes of Massimo Luongo, just the Axel Twanzebe as well, making his way to sit behind the bench. Such a shame for him, missing a long time with a hamstring injury. Jack Clarke to Morsey. Morsey into the centre circle. Hutchinson belting forward out to the right hand side. He finds Burns outside the Palace area, tries to get a low ball into the box, and it comes this time again from Burns, headed towards goal by Delap, into the gloves of Henderson. It was on target, albeit a straightforward save.
Yeah, that's good play, and the one that started it all off again was Jack Clarke. He's really, for me, has had a good game. It was good, neat control, and he got the whole move going. And we end up giving it to Amari Hutchinson. Got acres of space, and he finds Wes Burns, and in the end we have a little attempt on target, so you know that's better.
Of course, Town have drawn their last 2 here, both 1-1 against Leicester and Manchester United. Disappointing to see that Leicester were ahead in their game, which kicked off later than this. Jamie Vardy, who else with a goal for them under Ruud van Nistelrooy. Lacroix volleys forward, his clearance, headed by O'Shea, out on this near side. Applause from Kieran McKenna, just trying to lift his team. Here is Shalabar to Hughes. Hughes goes back to Lacroix. He's been in there a fair while. Now, Will Hughes making his 50th Premier League start tonight for Palace. Joined them 3 years ago. Here in midfield is Eze. 2 players go after him. Gets the ball to Hughes. Now out to the left-hand side. Palace have it with Lerma. Mitchell in the end goes to Hughes. Eze, edge of the area, sets himself, fires, deflected. Could have beaten Muric. It's out off an Ipswich Town player for the first corner kick of the half to Palace.
Yeah, nice control move down the left-hand side by Palace, and then when the ball came in and the shot went in, you did sort of think, well, this could go anywhere. They've won themselves a corner, but it could have been even more.
Corner kick to Crystal Palace. Eze is taking it down in front of their fans over in the far right corner of a busy Portman Road, and it swings right-footed, headed away by Greaves. Should be cleared or brought down by Hutchinson. It's the latter. Then he runs it forward but loses it. Palace have the ball in the centre circle, almost nicked away from Mitchell by Jack Clarke. His momentum took him through the challenge. Mitchell's taken a tumble. Referee says free kick to the visitors.
Yeah, I think Muric got that all wrong there. That ball, when the ball came in, he made a move as if he was going to go and take the ball out of the air, but he was never going to be able to do that, so he's got to be careful. Definite foul by Jack Clarke there.
Gay down the left-hand side to no one, because the run of Eze was in field. It's out behind, goal kick to Aro Muric. But one change at half-time from the starters in the 7:30 kick-off. It's the Colombian midfielder Lerma, formerly of Bournemouth. Actually cost them £25 million. It's a decent free signing for Palace last season. He's on in the centre of the park. Town as they were from kick-off. Poor kick from Muric, controlled by Shalabar on halfway. He goes back to Lacroix, who then has to quickly sort out his feet. He does that, gets it back to Henderson. Henderson launches the ball out to this right-hand side. Munoz heads it on beyond Davis. Davis gets back on this near side, running towards his own dead ball line. He's piled into from behind by Mateta and wins the free kick that he was looking for. Nothing else he could do.
Yeah, we just got to get Muric to hit better balls forward, long balls, because watching there, they have this high press Palace. They use 6 players to take care of 6 of our players, and when you look towards the halfway line, just inside our half and just inside their half, there's a lovely 4v4. All our 4 attacking players against their 4 defensive players. So his forward kicking has got to be good.
Hutchinson's header, trying to find Jack Clark. Poor clearance from Shalabar. Clark is now on the ball, left side. He goes back to Davis on the near side of the field. Now Amari Hutchinson, shaped across, cuts back in field. Hutchinson finds Kayuste. Now back to Jacob Greaves. 6 minutes gone in the second half on BBC Radio Suffolk Sports. Muric has the ball. A few Town fans whinging that Greaves went back to his goalkeeper. Muric floats his ball forward, nodded down by Delap for Hutchinson. Nice play, good vision from Hutchinson, knew exactly where Wes Burns was on the right, but couldn't find him. And it's another throw to Palace. They've only scored 11 goals in their 13.5 Premier League games. Only Everton and Southampton have scored fewer at this level. Very few chances for either side so far in this particular match. Gay belts it to the halfway line. Morsey with a springing header forward, nodded on by Hutchinson. Across will come Lacroix in front of Delap. Still a good battle between the two. Cleared away by Lacroix. Good stretch and control by Morsey. Greaves to Harry Clark. Back in field to Morsey. Burns into Hutchinson. That's good play from Ipswich Town. Hutchinson spins, still has it, waits. Back to the right hand side. Burns looking along the edge of the Crystal Palace penalty area. Harry Clark goes back to O'Shea on halfway. Now Muric inside his own half of the field, but well out of his area. And again, poor kicking forward from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, very poor. Liam Delap was in an offside position, so you had to rule him out, but there were 3 other sort of possibilities. He's got to get it right, because Palace have got this high press, but they do leave a 4v4 at the defensive end, and you just got to take a chance on it.
Here is Morsey, faced by 2 yellow shirts. He's got the ball out to Davis. Davis backwards to Greaves, 0-0. Kayuste on a run, gets away from Hughes. Great running from him. Down this left-hand side, he's done very well, Kayuste. Back towards Jack Clark, infield to Morsey. That's liven up the crowd a little bit. Even just that run from Kayuste, that's all it took just to reinvigorate the crowd in terms of their belief and enthusiasm for this one. Harry Clark, far side on the halfway line, faced by Eze. Can't go forward, comes in field. Clark still got it, gets the ball back to Greaves, who'd made himself available. Up to Jack Clark on halfway, just south of the centre circle. He finds Hutchinson. That's good play from Ipswich Town. Hutchinson running forward to his right hand side. Burns inside the box right of centre, tries to play it into the middle, blocked off by Mitchell. Back to Burns. Burns then does get his cross into the centre, volleyed away by Lacroix. That was good play from Town. Here they go, they're rebuilding. Clark to Morsey. Morsey into the box, headed away though by Munoz. Controlled down by Kayuste, who had a good couple of minutes. Leif Davis back to Kayuste. Much better this from Ipswich Town. Jack Clark down the left hand side, taking on Munoz, coming in field, corner of the box. Back it goes to Morsey. Everyone back for Palace behind the ball. Here's a shot from O'Shea. Met it with plenty power, sadly not the direction it required. It's over the bar.
No, I don't blame them having a go. You know, there's anything can happen, and that was really good play. Much better play. We're actually passing and moving much better than we did in the first half, and this is what we've got to do. We've got to get Crystal Palace to do some defending. This is our little time at the moment. I think Palace have not done what they did in the first half, where they gained most of the possession, but we're on top of them at the moment.
Greaves gets the better of Munoz in the air. Sarr plays it to Munoz again into the centre. It's number 8, Lerma, a half-time substitute. He finds Gay, first touch up towards Eze. Town closing down those yellow shirts of Crystal Palace. Your thoughts welcome afterwards on BBC Radio Suffolk. 0800 141 2121 is the phone number. I'll give you the text number in a second, as Palace are trying to press forward with the ball inside the Ipswich Town half. Palace with Gay, their captain, plays it to Mitchell on the far side. The number 3 goes infield towards Mateta. Well blocked off by O'Shea. Mateta gets the ball back, plays it infield. It's away from Sarr. And back with Muric. The text number is 81333. Start those messages SFK. You can WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Again, start those with SFK. Lacroix in the back of Delap. Kieran McKenna's furious with that challenge on his striker, and now holding his ankle. As Mark Hudson, one of the Town coaches, has a word with Leif Davis. It's a free kick to Ipswich, just a few yards in from this near touchline.
That ball from Muric to Delap is on all the time, whether you hit his feet or the space behind him. You know, he's always 1-to-1, and that's all you need. 1-to-1 at the attacking end of the pitch. You know, just take a chance on it.
Al-Hamidi, Smodix and Johnson out, so too Chaplin, actually. Taylor as well, got a fair few subs out near side. Free kick to Ipswich. Davis knocks it on a diagonal into the box off to our right-hand side. Towering header from Greaves into the middle. Needed the intervention of a colleague, didn't come, so it was caught stomach height really by Henderson. Very straightforward fashion. 0-0. Town back in action on Sunday. Bournemouth are here. A week on Saturday. Mick will be alongside me at Molineux, and then the Christmas period really starts with Newcastle here, Arsenal away, and Chelsea here before Town go to Fulham for their first game of the new year. FA Cup weekend is the following weekend after that. Bristol Rovers will be here. Oliver Glasner showing some frustration with his team as they go back to a defensive area with the ball. Last time I've really seen that from him down below us. Will Hughes on halfway up towards Eze. Well done, Harry Clark. Eze wasn't ready for that ball. Hughes tries to take it off Morsey. Ipswich get the ball to Burns. Burns in field to Delap. It just reached him. Never really got himself set with his balance. And it's Lerma who comes away with the ball. Up to halfway, Eze. He comes into the centre circle. Now, Palace again go back to their centre half. Lacroix. Kieran McKenna's thoughts to come before off air at 10:30 tonight. Hopefully those are an Ipswich Town player, hopefully an Ipswich match winner in an ideal world. Lerma towards Sarr, in flies Greaves, good challenge, well won. Jack Clark brought down by Hughes. He's unhappy with the decision, and he's also got a yellow card against him.
Yeah, he's lively, Jack Clark, tonight. His first touch tonight has been absolutely outstanding, and it gives him the chance then to accelerate away from the position he's in, and that's what he did just there. First touch, brilliant, starts to accelerate away, and Hughes just brings him down.
His last Premier League win here, the 24th of April 2002. That was Darren Bent in a 1-0 win over Middlesbrough. It's been a long time coming. Muric in the centre circle with this free kick. He fires it out to the far side, the Ipswich right. Nice little header back, and infield it goes towards Hutchinson. Doesn't reach him. Hughes gives it to Eze. No chance of a counter-attack for Palace, as about 5 or 6 blue shirts immediately got goal side of the ball, as Eze stumbled to get it under any semblance of control. Morsey, ball over the top, looking for the run of Delap, this time up against Shalabar. Delap gets onto it inside the area. Good work from Delap. Needs help now though, he's done wonderfully well. Delap infield, poor pass, looking for Kayuste. Comes back to Delap, and then he has a go, takes a couple of deflections, and it's cleared by Lacroix before it can go anywhere near the goalkeeper Henderson. Mateta with a good header down. Lerma to Eze. Mateta's making a run. Greaves has come back. Mateta wants to take on Greaves. He's got the better of him. Mateta inside the box, a chance, and he's lifted it into the corner of the net. It's a really good finish. He was just too good for Jacob Greaves, and it was a lovely floated finish from the Frenchman, which gives Crystal Palace a 1-0 lead in this huge game at the wrong end of the Premier League.
Well, we came so close at the end here. Liam Delap did really well to keep hold of the ball. Should have played a simple pass off when he had the chance. He tried a more difficult one. We did lose possession, but we had enough back in defensive areas to deal with what was an okay break by Palace. Nothing special, but it's just a 1-to-1. Jacob Greaves fails to do it. We still had 3 players around the goalkeeper, you know, so there was plenty of blue shirts back, and it's just we got the whole thing wrong. It was a good finish in the end, just clipped it up over the goalkeeper, but poor mistake by Jacob Greaves, and also, you know, we just didn't stifle the area enough around him.
Oh, it was a nice goal. Sweet finish from Mateta, his 6th of the season. Let's see how Ipswich Town react. I haven't got any concerns over this team reacting in the right manner. They've got 30 minutes plus to get themselves back into this game. O'Shea lumps it long for Ipswich Town. Headed on by Delap, brought down by Lacroix. He'll slice it to the halfway line. Let's get in play by Greaves. Onto it immediately is Sarr, hauled down by Cayuste. As Kieran McKenna sat down on the front row of the dugout down below, just looking at the screen, making a few notes as well.
Well, they'd be thinking about changes, but with the players on the pitch, we've got to keep calm and keep cool.
Ball in behind for Mateta, wide on the right-hand side, the goal scorer outside the Ipswich area, gets his cross to the far post area, but simple in the end for Muric. As I said earlier on, Mateta scored a lot of goals at the Olympics for host nation France in Paris, but then when I spoke to a Palace fan on the Blue Hour last night, he was saying he's not been quite the same player as he was last season when he was absolutely phenomenal for Crystal Palace. Been there almost 3 years now from German football. Mainz was his former club, the Frenchman. Took that very well, that only goal of the game so far. Town on that far side with Harry Clark, knocking it in behind, trying to get Burns on his way up against Mitchell. Burns has done well with his strength and persistence. His attempted cross comes off of Mitchell, and that's out of play over by the far left-hand corner flag. Must be a throw-in. Yep, Harry Clark's got it. Wow, first blood Crystal Palace in this six-pointer towards the wrong end of the table. Morsey back to the centre circle, and Cayuste. Morsey straight to Muric, totally alone off to our right-hand side, the goalkeeper. 62 on the clock. Every kick of every Ipswich Town match live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. We'll have full match commentary on Sunday of Bournemouth's visit here. Cayuste to Greaves, up to Jack Clark. He's done his best to lose the ball, but it's gone back via Davis to Muric, so no harm done. Sam Smoddick's jogging along this near touchline. He'd be desperate to get on and get involved, and add to his 3 goals so far, maybe get his first home goal tonight. O'Shea to Harry Clark, gets it, then starts to motor as they trips him. Yet another free kick.
Yeah, they're going to sort of mess the game up if they can. You know, we've got to get back. We were playing all right. You know, we've got to go down, but we've got to remember that we were playing better than Palace in this half, and just keep going, keep playing, keep confident.
O'Shea to Morsey. Morsey into the centre circle. He's got runners, but way too much on that for Hutchinson or Delap. It was closer to Hutchinson, but not the best pass Morsey's ever played. Somebody's been called back to the bench. Connor Chaplin signalling to somebody to come back. Maybe he might be coming on as well, actually. Yeah, he is. Broadhead? Broadhead's the first one to come back. Broadhead and Chaplin. A couple of the League One boys about to come on for Ipswich Town by the looks of things. Headed away to the halfway line by Greaves. Here come Palace again. Sarr to Eze inside the Ipswich Town area. What's he going to do? Tries to play it in low for a colleague. Morsey heads it out of the area. Then there's a shot into the ground and wide from Lerma. He did look the part when he came on at the weekend, Broadhead, for his first Premier League minutes of the season. He really got up to the pace of the game and showed his quality.
Well, technically he's up to this standard, Broadhead. You know, he's a decent player, and the one thing that I think we've probably forgotten about is he's got plenty of goals in him as well.
Harry Clark going long towards Delap. The goalkeeper just got it inside his area. There was a risk there that he handled outside his box. He judged it well. Henderson, give him credit. Lacroix to Shalabar. Back it goes to Henderson. Hutchinson closes him down. Henderson was always going to play the ball out to the left back area. And Tyreek Mitchell. Mitchell still has the ball to Gay now. Gay up towards Mateta, the only goal scorer. Palace lead 1-0. Ball pushed forward to Eze. Surely he's offside. Flag eventually goes up against Eze. Kind of spotted that quicker. Triple substitution. Jack Taylor is also coming on. And this is required, I think, from Town's perspective. Something has to change, Mick.
Yeah, we've definitely got to change it a little bit, but you know, Amari Hutchinson is the one that's been struggling to sort of give us any sort of game at all. I think Connor Chaplin will be sort of, I think, yeah, that's the obvious change. It's unfortunate on Wes Burns because he hasn't played badly. He's been all right, but we're desperate to keep Amari on the pitch. He's not doing it as a number 10, so he'll be pushed out to the right-hand side where we know he can play. Connor Chaplin will come on, and what we know about Connor is that he knows every little pocket that he can take up to get possession of the ball outside of the box. And then when balls are going into the penalty area, he knows exactly where the spaces are to get a shot away. So that's a good substitution as well.
Kayuste, Burns and Jack Clark, the three players that have come off. So obviously Hutchinson's gone to the right, Broadhead to the left, with Chaplin in the middle. And you were taken with Jack Clark tonight, Mick, as well.
Yeah, I think Wes Burns is unfortunate to have to come off, but you know, it has to be done. And also Jack Clark for me has been our best player, and he's unfortunately had to come off so we can get Nathan Broadhead on the pitch because he's got a goal in him.
Jack Taylor also has a goal in him as well. Well, he certainly had last season and has in the past for Peterborough. Need to get off the mark in the Premier League though, but he's alongside Morsey in the centre of the park for Ipswich as they try to get back into this game. Mateta with the only goals so far. We still have a quarter of this match to go, so plenty time. Mitchell makes a decent play, he's done well far side, then he's rolled it forward towards Eze. Eze will get there ahead of Harry Clark. Eze into the middle looking for Mateta. Muric came and then went. Mateta with a shot, it came off Muric in the end, but wow, he did that terrible thing. He came, stopped, changed his mind, started to go back, Muric, and he was almost caught out. That could have easily been 2-0.
Well, and he could have got the ball as well, so I don't know why he changed his mind. He started to come, it looked as if it was going to be his ball, and then he changed his mind. And as soon as he changed his mind, he was in trouble, we were in trouble.
Palace with a corner kick as in front of the travelling Crystal Palace supporters over in the far right corner. Exactly 3/4 of this game gone. Palace lead 1-0. Turner in all sorts of trouble if Palace can go 2 up, and it comes from Eze, and it was over the top of Lerma. He rose well, but it's out on this near side. It's come off a Town player for another corner kick to Palace there. Second of the half.
This is a crucial sort of part of the game now. You know, if Palace score now and go 2-0 up, then for me it's the end of the game virtually. But just do the defending right. And I think there'll be opportunities at the other end, so we've just got to see things like this away.
Kieran McKenna's never lost a midweek league game for Ipswich Town. It's 3 years since they last lost a midweek league game. They're 1-0 down tonight, and it comes from Hughes, this corner kick volleyed away off the near post. Headed forward by Lerma, nodded on to the edge of the box. Gay knocks it back into the Ipswich Town area. Mateta goes down, there's a scramble, cleared away. Out as far as Mitchell. Mitchell gets on it for Palace. On that left-hand side, tries to get the return pass. Taylor shoots it out behind. There was too much on it from Lacroix. And that's a goal kick, which Ipswich can take off to our right-hand side. Only one clean sheet in Palace's last 8 games, so hopefully Town will get an opportunity at some stage in this match. 5 years since Town had a longer winless run on this pitch. That was that terrible relegation season from the Championship. Of course, it was always going to be a really tough season, this one, home and away, acclimatising to football in the Premier League. Taylor's ball forward, dealt with by Munoz, then on the thigh of Hughes, back to Gay. Gay up towards Eze. Back it goes to Gay on that right-hand side. In the left for Palace, Mitchell. Now back to Dean Henderson. Sadly hasn't been overly troubled in this game, nor has Muric, has to be said. Headed in field by Clark. Just go with Clark now, there's only Harry on the field. Nathan Broadhead, his first minutes in the Premier League at Portman Road, trying to get forward. He can't, just surrounded. I think it's 5-on-1 in terms of the Palace players surrounding the Welsh international. Cleared by Henderson to halfway, nodded forward by Morsey, headed away by Lacroix, who's been busy at the back and pretty effective. Davis, infield to Taylor. Taylor prods it back to Davis. Good 1-2. Davis, first time ball is excellent. Oh, maybe Delap could have done better with that. That was a chance. It was a lovely ball in from the left-hand side from Leif Davis.
Yeah, we finally got Leif Davis free, and it was a lovely sort of toe poke ball by Taylor, and it got him away, and the cross was brilliant. I think we should have done better.
I do as well. Oh, that was a chance for Liam Delap. Not an easy one, not a given, but oh yeah, didn't get anything on it really. Touched out behind by a Palace defender. At least Town have got a corner kick, but it was nice play. Taylor immediately involved. Corner kick to Ipswich Town. All eyes on the penalty area off to our left-hand side, and it comes from Leif Davis. Poor, didn't make the near post, passed away by Eze. To Hughes. Here come Crystal Palace on the attack. Mateta's making a run. Hughes to the right-hand side. Sarr, very quiet in this game so far. What can he do now? He's inside the box. He pulls a square ball, which is really bizarre. That was terrible from Sarr. It's neither one thing nor the other, but he's luckily got it back for him. Back it goes to Shalabar. Town let off the hook there, really.
Yeah, you've got to get that corner kick into this sort of danger area.
Here come Palace. Eze with a cross into the centre, headed away by O'Shea, tumbling towards his own 6-yard box. Palace get it back. Remember, all this came from an Ipswich Town corner kick. Hughes round the corner to Mitchell. Palace obviously playing with a bit more confidence now that they've got this only goal of the game on the board with 18 minutes or thereabouts to go. There is Munoz back to Shalabar. So far a successful return to Portman Road for Shalabar. Gay down the left hand side, lovely ball by Gay, measured to perfection. Mitchell has it, back comes Hutchinson in a right back position. Now it's with Lerma. Lerma has time to thread a ball in the box towards Eze. Eze just keeps it in, he's done well, he gives it back, well intercepted by Chaplin, gives it to Morsey inside his area. Morsey towards Broadhead, in goes Hughes, who's having a good game in midfield, and ball's out near side for a Town throw.
Yeah, Hughes is a decent player, he's played well tonight, but we've got to do better on the corner kick. We put 7 players in the Palace box, and the one thing you don't want, Crystal Palace, is to head the ball comfortably out of the box, because we've got very little to sort of cover any sort of quick breakaway.
29,533. Another excellent crowd. Broadhead finds Chaplin. 2 of the substitutes linking up. Back to Broadhead on halfway. Gets away from Lacroix, but then the ball finds its way back to Henderson. I saw a stat yesterday. The attendance at the City Ground on Saturday was the biggest there for a league game since 1987. Phenomenal support from Ipswich Town's travelling fans as ever. That's remarkable when you consider some of the massive fan bases that have been at the City Ground the last 2 or 3 years in the Premier League. Sadly, at the moment, it's back-to-back 1-0 defeats, but there is clearly still time in this 7:30 kickoff, 17 minutes plus to be precise. Munoz gets the throw in to Sarr, tries to play it through Broadhead. Oh, lovely from Broadhead, the drag back, bought himself some space. Delap gives it to Taylor. Taylor goes in field as Delap is brought down. Sadly, it's maybe this sort of point in the game that Kieran McKenna might have been thinking about bringing on Hurst for Delap. He just hasn't got that option for a little while. 2 big injuries those recently, Hurst and Twanzebe for Ipswich Town, but great that Johnson and Phillips are back and on the bench tonight. Taylor to O'Shea. There is Harry Clark against Eze. Lifts it back to Murrich. Fans nervous at the moment watching this one. Feeling that Town fans either said they've got to win or at least must not lose. It would be a real blow. Delap with a little header down, won by Munoz against Davis. Davis gets it back, tries to find Delap. Across will come Gay. Delap knew exactly what Gay was going to do, tries to win the ball, then goes in the 50-50 on Munoz, and it's a free kick to Crystal Palace in the right back area for that foul by Delap on Munoz. Gay very unhappy with the challenge from the Ipswich Town striker.
Yeah, I just think they're trying to get the player in trouble there. It wasn't a bad challenge, it's just a run-of-the-mill challenge, and they're just trying to get the referee to see it as being a bit more serious. They know that if they get Liam Delap off the pitch, they'll win the game, so they'll try anything like that. But at the moment, since we've made the substitutions, we haven't really had a consistent spell of domination to really see whether those changes have made a difference. You know, we haven't really got Amari going in the wide area yet. We haven't seen Connor in advanced positions where he can do little intricate things, and I think Nathan Broadhead at the moment is wandering a little bit too much. He's sort of going infield too much, and he's giving Palace a chance to get away down this right hand side. I think he's got to keep the shape better, but it's those players for me that have got to come into the game, and Murray Hutchinson and Connor Chaplin.
Eze has gone off for Palace, their second change of the night. Justin Devaney, a young Northern Ireland international midfielder, came from Scottish football last year, got his first senior goal recently. He's on, as it didn't do a massive amount for a player of clearly some ability. Greaves knocks it forward for Delap. The ball bounces, spins away from him, cleared by Shalabar. Now at the back is Gay trying to hold things together for a rare clean sheet for Palace. One in the air by O'Shea. Davis to Taylor, trying to play a 1-2 again, and Davis puts it down the line.
Yeah, I think if Liam Delap had been a bit fresher, that's the position he would have gone for, you know, but he didn't. He really didn't want to make a big surging run down the touchline, so he came towards the ball, but it wasn't the pass that Leif Davis wanted to make.
Yeah, exactly. That point about Hurst, that he might have been on by now in an ideal world, but Delap can still get himself in positions and still be the hero here and get an equaliser whilst he's on the field, but it's a hard role that he plays, physically so demanding. Broadhead, lovely collection and then movement forward down the left hand side. Has he run the ball out of play? Yes, he has. Town fans and a few subs as well disagree with that, so too Kieran McKenna. Very difficult to see. He seemed to have done the hard work. It did look from here as if it had gone out of play, but anyway.
The annoying thing is he didn't need to run it out of play, really. He could have sort of just kept it well in. Nobody was really that close to him. You know, he didn't have to sort of push it a little bit wider. So he's a little bit at fault himself. But it was a decent run to start with.
Yeah, looking at it again, I think he did keep it. I think he kept it in play. But anyway, play continues. Palace lead 1-0 on BBC Radio Suffolk. Calvin Phillips just settling back into the Ipswich Town bench. Down below us, Ali Al-Hamadi about to come on. Greaves, mistake from him. Sarr then taken out by Greaves. That's going to be a yellow card for him on his return. A little bit rash, having made the error. Greaves
looks a bit rusty. I'm just watching him in this situation there. He's tending to go a little bit too far into the midfield. He's leaving Dara O'Shea a little bit too much. Then he tried to recover, and then he made the challenge there, and it was a poor challenge. You know, he's just not got his positional sense right tonight.
Sarr has obviously taken his time over his recovery. Yellow card for Greaves. Both Town centre halves on a caution. So Al-Hamadi about to come on. One would imagine for Liam Delap. Free kick that Hughes is going to be taken for Palace, looking for a second goal to well and truly secure all 3 points. Town defend it well enough. Hutchinson on the far side chases after the ball, just keeps it in, but only for Palace, who get the ball back to Mitchell on halfway. Chaplin yet to get involved in an attacking sense in this game since coming on. Forward from Shalabar. Greaves will get there in time and clear out on this near side, so possibly Al-Hamadi can be introduced for Delap, whose tank is just about empty. Off goes Delap, on comes Ali Al-Hamadi.
Yeah, I think you never want somebody of the calibre of Liam Delap to go off in this situation when you're losing the game 1-0, but he looks really finished, he really does.
Munoz with this throw. Don't people realise how big a blow the Hurst injury would be to Ipswich Town. Al-Hamadi just on the field, good work from him, the substitute. Edge of the area, comes in field, gives it back to Broadhead, another sub. Ipswich Town coming forward, looking for an equaliser. The ball's gone back into midfield, but at least the Blues still have it on the far side with Hutchinson. Now wide right, outside the area, left-footed cross, looks a good one, palmed away by the goalkeeper Henderson. Under pressure, he did well. Now it's the tall figure of Sarr, he's held up. The referee says no free kick. Taylor to Al Hamidi. He's livened things up immediately, Ali Al Hamidi. In comes the cross from Davis, headed away by Gay. As far as the other captain, Morsey, who hits it. It's always swinging away from that top right corner as he looked at things.
Yeah, that was a terrific run by Ali Al Hamidi. You know, he got the first touch right. The defender showed him no respect at all, so he just galloped past him and got the whole attack going, and it eventually worked across the pitch. And that's the first time Omari Hutchinson has had what you would call a free ball. He's got possession, he's able to sort of just dance on his inside, and in comes the cross, and there's possibilities. That's what we want, you know, we want that ball to get out there to Omari Hutchinson with a bit of time.
Shalabar going off, which is an interesting change. He's been replaced by Richards. Still 1-0 to Crystal Palace here. Bury Town manager Cole Skew's just waving us goodbye as he departs Portman Road. Been watching on tonight, just down to our right-hand side. Hit forward by Mateta. Muric sees it bounce out for a goal kick. 9 minutes plus added on time to go. Can Ipswich Town get something from this game, or is it back-to-back defeats off the back of that very encouraging draw with Manchester United? Morsey back to Muric, just makes Sunday even bigger. Second successive home game. Bournemouth are here, 2 o'clock Sunday. Getting used to Sunday games, aren't we? Here is Devaney in the centre, threads it to Sarr. Sarr then finds Mateta, the goal scorer, inside the Ipswich Town area, plays it in early, takes a nick, cleared away by Taylor. Good ball from Taylor, finding Hutchinson, end-to-end. In will go Gay. Too heavy a touch from Omari Hutchinson, allowed Gay to slide in there and take the ball out.
Well, there's a chance for Omari. He's just not got his sort of touch going tonight, you know, but that's what we need. Get it out there. He's capable if he gets a nice one-to-one.
8 minutes to go. Broadhead back to Taylor. 1-0 Crystal Palace. Afterwards, your thoughts. Welcome 0800 141 2121. Plenty of time for calls with this game finishing quarter of an hour earlier than your average Tuesday night game. Text 81333. Start those messages SFK. Morsey to Broadhead. Good play from Broadhead. Again, he's doing well out there. Chaplin to the right. Hutchinson. Is this Ipswich Town's moment? Couple of step overs. Gets inside the box. Goes to the byline. Hammers into the middle. Right across the face of goal out the far end for a goal kick.
So that's what we need, and he's produced something there. He was, I think he was sort of really wanting to wrap his foot around the ball a little bit more and maybe make it into a proper cross, but in the end it looked as if he was hitting a shot towards the far post, but he's just overhit it in the end. But that's where you want him to get the ball there, 1-to-1 inside the penalty area, because he can twist and turn.
Live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Ipswich Town 0, Crystal Palace 1. We'll start the build-up to Sunday's game that I just mentioned on the matchday preview with Graham on Friday night. That's on air between 6 and 7 every Friday night on BBC Radio Suffolk. Greaves comes across, takes the ball on his shoulder. Munoz picks it up on the right-hand side, gets his cross over the roof of the net and out the other end for a goal kick to Aro Muric. Time is of the essence. Exactly 83.5 minutes played here at Portman Road. Cold night, but a good night for football in terms of the conditions out there. Greaves towards Taylor. He's been on the ball a fair bit, like Broadhead, since they both came on. O'Shea. Oh, sells Harry Clark terribly short. Devaney's on it. That was poor from O'Shea. Then it's blocked forward by Lerma. Back to the Irishman, who's now apologising to Harry Clark after a glare. 6 minutes to play. There is O'Shea towards Harry Clark. Clark over the top to Hutchinson, who's got goal side away from Mitchell. Inside the box, right of centre. Into the middle, it comes blocked off by Hughes, who's had a very good game, cleared away. Again, that was a chance, and again, Hutchinson looks a threat down that right-hand side as Richards goes back to his goalkeeper. So it was Munoz who found Henderson. Henderson cleared to halfway. Richards, the American centre-half. Morsey just gets away from Mateta. Palace will be feeling edgy now. They're not used to winning games. Haven't won away this season so far. Al Hamidi goes down. Oh, he's brought Ipswich down. Really promising free kick. The referee Straightforward decision there to make, and this is in a good position for Town.
Yeah, this is our little moment. We've had a couple of really nice attacks, mainly sort of down that right-hand side with Amari Hutchinson, and now we've got ourselves a really nice free kick. It's got the right angle on it. It's the perfect sort of distance, really, to get it up and over the wall and underneath the crossbar. This is a chance.
Broadhead has walked away from it. Chaplin isn't interested, nor is Jack Taylor. Leif Davis on this free kick for Ipswich Town, 23 yards from goal, left of centre. He signals as if he's going to look for a teammate in there. 4.5 minutes for Ipswich Town to find an equaliser. They're 1-0 down to Crystal Palace. Davis over the set piece. There's a 3-man wall of yellow shirts in the way. The referee finally seems happy. Mr. Pawson blows his whistle. Leif Davis plays it to Chaplin, back to goal in the D. He turns, dinks it towards the far stick. Greaves heads it into the middle, across the face of goal. Oh, might have hit the post. Broadhead was close to it. Town was so unlucky. That was a clever little free kick.
Wow, that really wasn't. I don't know whether Connor Chaplin really was asked to take so much time on it, but he took ages on this ball, and then he clips the lovely ball in back post. I don't know how we didn't scramble it in. We had two players who could have put it in, but it went between the two of them.
It was Greaves' header that hit the post, and then Broadhead couldn't convert it, and it went out behind. Henderson made a real flap at the header from Greaves that went across the face of his goal. Town very unlucky, but Hutchinson and Broadhead are looking a threat when they're in possession. Here is Broadhead on this near side down the line, and of course Ali Al-Hamadi, full of energy, busying himself. He's going to go after every lost cause under the sun. Henderson draws him in, then belts it forward. 86.5 minutes played. Hutchinson towards Chaplin, won by Gay. As I say, Palace will be getting nervous. Their fans will be getting edgy. They'll be fearing a sucker punch. They're hardly a team with their bags of confidence. Put them under the caution of good wilt. Hughes loses the ball to Morsey. Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. The referee disagrees, though. He's given a foul against Morsey. He didn't look at anyway.
That's an awful decision, it really is, because we could have done something with that. We picked up possession from that challenge, and there weren't too many yellow shirts behind the ball, and we had a little opportunity. That was a poor refereeing decision.
It was, wasn't it? He seemed in a good place. Nketiah about to come on for Crystal Palace. Just the one League Cup goal so far for him. Nice control by Devaney. Lovely first touch with that free kick that was whizzed up to him. Such a play from Lerma towards Munoz. Good header on by Munoz to Sarr. Sarr, a very languid style of his. He goes back to Richards. Now it's with Hughes. Hughes all the way back to Henderson. Every now and again the Palace fans will give him a chorus of Dino. Still holding on to that clean sheet, Moores the Pissy. Palace lead 1-0 on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. 2 minutes to go. How big a defeat will this be for Ipswich Town in the grand scheme of things? There is Henderson. Big win for Palace it would be. Up goes Davis over halfway from Greaves, controlled by Broadhead, making the most of his opportunity. Broadhead, he's done well again. Back it goes to Taylor. There is Harry Clark. Most of us did think that Broadhead was one of the Championship players that could step up to this level this year. He was unlucky with an injury early on, then just couldn't get his place in the side. It's only these last 2 matches where we've seen him. Greaves, left-footed, goes long down the line towards Davis. Final 90 seconds of normal time. Glancing header on from Sarr towards Mateta, trying to get away from O'Shea. Greaves' touch goes into the path there of Devaney, number 55. Town have got players coming back. Morsey tries to hold him up quite literally. Devaney still has the ball, edge of the box, trying to wriggle into it as Sarr. And then Town have a player down. It was the follow-through of Sarr's challenge, I think, which is taken Greaves out. Yellow card for Ismaila Sarr.
What on earth has happened to the advantage rule? You know, I think we had good possession of the ball there. There was lots of Palace players caught the wrong side of the ball there, and that's an opportunity for us to hit them on the break. I don't know why referees do that. That's not giving us an advantage at all, given the free kick there. every yellow shirt now is behind the ball.
Nketiah coming on for Sarr, who's been very, very disappointing for a player that's cost a combined £39 million the last 2 summer transfer windows. And at one stage in his career when he was at Watford, he was linked with a move to Liverpool. He's really not done anything tonight, which I was loath to say while he was out there. Just the 3 minutes added on, that's drawn a few boos. We're into those added on 3 minutes. Well, Town are going to have to wait for their first home Premier League win of the season, I think we can say now with some confidence. But can they continue Kieran McKenna's run of never losing a midweek league game? Here is Harry Clark to Morsey. Town have the ball at the back. It needs to be rather off to our right, off to our left-hand side. And talking of Kieran McKenna, we'll hear from him on air before 10:30. Taylor back to Greaves. On this near side in front of us, Greaves left-footed, looks down the line towards Al-Hamadi. In goes Lacroix. Out it goes for a throw. Davis infield with the throw to Morsey. This Town team is still capable of getting something from this game. All the noise is from the Palace fans. Harry Clark to Hutchinson. He's a player that could make something out of nothing. Hutchinson taking on Mitchell, coming in field. He's beaten Mitchell. He's inside the area. Great run this from Hutchinson. In comes his cross, headed away by Munoz. Out as far as Taylor. Cushions it down to Chaplin. Chaplin does likewise to the left, and Greaves. Penny players forward for Town, off to our left, as you would expect. Davis doesn't fancy the right-footed cross, so he's gone back to Taylor instead. 21 players off to our left-hand side. Norwich the only one to our right. Town attacking that goal. Hutchinson having a run down the right-hand side of the penalty area. Back it goes to Clark. What's Harry's cross like? Looks decent. Into the centre it comes, punched away by Henderson. Morsey touches it back into the box. Away it comes from Hughes, still as good as ever. Nodded forward by O'Shea, bouncing around edge of the area. Headed square by Lacroix. He's had a decent game at the back. Flag's gone up against Ipswich Town. A breather for Crystal Palace, and the edge ever nearer to their first away win of the season.
Yeah, Amari Hutchinson again comes close to possibly engineering something, but it just didn't happen for him. It's edging away from us now, but we've done okay in the second half, but we haven't lifted it to the levels that we've really needed to.
Henderson, as you would expect, taking a long time over this free kick for Crystal Palace. We'd expect exactly the same from Aaron Muric, if the shoe was on the other foot, and Town were 1-0 up. Henderson's now gone back a yard. Kieran McKenna looking rather dejected down below us. He'll head into Sunday's game against Bournemouth, still looking for his first home win as a Premier League manager. Ball swings out this near side. Still time though for a leveller. Davis with a throw forward. Out it goes next to a TV camera. Broadhead wants to take a quick throw in, but the referee says he's stopped his watch. He wants to deal with this injury to Munoz. So there still will be time for Ipswich Town. Munoz holding his right ankle. Palace leading 1-0 at Portman Road. Town have a throw in. The added on 3 minutes have been played. The whistles you hear are from the Palace supporters. Harry Clark in the centre of Portman Road knocks it forward. Final throw of the dice for Ipswich Town. Gay heads it away from O'Shea, who'd gone up there as an extra striker. Lerma knocks it forward to Mateta. There's a player through the middle. Wanting it is Nketiah. Mateta holds on to the ball. He's the match winner. Knocks it into the Ipswich area terribly. He'll get a right boot up the backside of Town now. Go down the other end and equalise, but they won't. There is the full-time whistle, and Ipswich Town have lost a midweek league game for the first time under Kieran McKenna. Well, only time will tell how big a defeat this is. It was billed as a six-pointer, a must-win, a must-not-lose. As far as both sides were concerned, really they're both down in the lower echelons of the Premier League table, but sadly from our perspective it's the visitors who go away with a massive 3 points. Crystal Palace beating Ipswich Town by 1-0. Disappointing, Mick.
Yeah, very disappointing, it really is. There's no question about that, and if you just sort of analyse the game, I think that both teams look at the very start of the game that there was an air of confidence about both teams, that they looked organised, they looked together. I thought we were in initially for a good game, but then there was a lot of nervousness out there. Not that it caused the players to play badly, but I think both teams were worried about the result more than concentrating on a performance. And I think that it was Palace who probably settled the best in the majority of the first half, and it really needed Town to lift the performance, because we said before the game, if we could conjure up a performance that was right at the top of our abilities, that would probably be enough to maybe win the game. But we didn't get anywhere near it, and I think it was Palace who was the more settled in the first half. It's easier for the away team, because if they're keeping it at level pegging, that's pretty good if you're the away team and you're at the opposition ground you're really up against. This is another team that's near the bottom of the table. Palace will have been quite happy with the proceedings in the first half, so I think that really overall Palace probably edged the first half. We needed to step it up, but we didn't. We sort of came out, you're waiting for that uplift, and it never really came, and actually in the end we had to forfeit a couple of people that were probably our better performers. Wes Burns hadn't really done very much wrong, and he had to come off to so Kieran could make some changes, and Jack Clark, who I thought had a really good game. I thought he was our best player. He had to come off to get Nathan Broadhead on the pitch to see if he could conjure up something. And it was Kieran gambling all the time in the end, trying. I think it was a case of he was trying maybe too hard from the touchline to engineer a result, when it was a night for the players to do it. The players needed to be at the top of their game, top of their performance, to get the victory that we really badly needed, and in the end the changes started to blossom right towards the end, maybe 10 minutes from the end. All of a sudden we started to get Amari on the ball with good controlled possession, and that's when we saw the best of him. Before that, I think it's one of the poorer games that he's actually had. When he was playing as a number 10, he was woefully off it. He did give us a glimmer of hope when he went to the wide position. But
how big a blow is this then, this defeat, given the way that this game was billed ahead of kick-off?
Oh, it is a blow, but I mean, it just puts massive pressure on us against Bournemouth, really, because I never believed that we could get 6 out of 6 points, because I've been in football long enough to know that very, very rarely happens when you're playing against teams that are similar ability to you. There's a lot of pressure on you because of the length of time it's taken you to get the home win. It's difficult, it really is, but I really didn't expect us to lose this one, and I don't expect us to lose the one on Sunday, but the defeat, it's the defeat that's the big blow. It really is. I thought that we could, if we weren't going to win tonight, we could draw the game, and unfortunately this wasn't our night, because the performance level, and you always wonder why they can't do it. They were absolutely superb performance against Manchester United, and then this one dropped way below that level, and consequently it gave Crystal Palace enough heart and enough belief to say they're not troubling us. This team on their own ground are not troubling us. We should be able to relax, show a bit of confidence, show a little bit of venture. Maybe we can win the game, and I think they did that. It took a bad mistake by us to give it to them, but did Palace do enough to win the game? I'm not sure, but they certainly did enough not to lose the game. There's no question about it. Town never deserved to win the game. Palace, because they edged large parts of the game, you could say they might have deserved it, but it's a big blow to us, it really is.
Yeah, disappointing one for Ipswich Town this evening. Sadly, they haven't been able to bounce back successfully from a 1-0 defeat at Nottingham Forest, because it's exactly the same scoreline here tonight at home to Crystal Palace. Kieran McKenna's thoughts on the way after a 1-0 defeat to the Eagles.